I introduced this build a couple videos ago, and I had put a Spektrum 6000 kV 2-in-1. Well, as expected, that 2-in-1 had died. So, we've upgraded. We got the Micro X2, the 08 series, and an ABC receiver all crammed in there, almost like it was made to fit. So we're gonna run this on 2S, see how it goes. Then we're gonna hit it with 3S, see how it goes. And then we're also gonna run them side by side with my other minis and see how they compare. Let's give it a go. I got a Electron Pro 2S 2000 in there. We're gonna see how it goes with the Micro X2 and the 08 series. I think it's got an 18 tooth pinion on there. I don't quite remember, to be honest. So far, we're really feeling the lack of inertia with the stock wheels, and that's to be expected with a buggy design. Struggling to pull the nose up, but it's such a nimble little car that even if it lands on its nose, you know, such a lightweight car, it won't hurt nothing. It's full throttle there. The motor specifically, this is the 4100 kV motor. On the nose again. Really leaning hard on that gyro. I am by no means a pro. Even though this motor is sensorless, only sensorless, the 08 series are all sensorless. Even though it's sensorless, it is butter smooth. That's Castle for you. That ESC is butter smooth. Ooh, what was that? Let's do a quick damage check. So far, so good. How's that front end looking? Nothing crazy there. Look at that gyro putting in some work. So far, so good. Let's keep going. I am still, to this day, recording with one hand and driving with the other. With no thumb steer either. Still kind of a pain in the butt, but it's doable. Lots of full throttle here, lots of full throttle. Oh, right on the nose. Ooh, almost took out my parked pile here. We'll run those in a bit. Thing is tough as nails, honestly, even with the plastic outdrives. I do got the upgraded metal diff though. Oh, right on the wing. Living up to that name, aren't we? Shock tower's looking good. Still got steering. I still have throttle too. Yep, we're good to go. I think I'm running low on that battery finally. I mean, okay. I'll accept that. Landed it. This thing just keeps going, doesn't it? Give it the royal flip. Gotta readjust my grip. Oh. Hey, no free rides. What are you doing here? Get out of here. All right, let's do a temp check. There we go. How's it holding up? Barely even warm. Well, maybe a little warm. How about that? Sticky tape putting in some work. You see barely even warm. Wires, battery. Out drives, how are those looking? Looking good. All right, let's run this bad boy on 3S. All right, let's see what this chassis is really made of. 3S Micro X2 08 series 4100 kV. First trigger pull. Yeah, a little chaotic, isn't it? The battery I'm running is also Electron Probe. This one is a 3S 1800. Probably the only small scale truck that this battery fits in. All my other small scale trucks, this 3S doesn't fit in. So, got a nice battery tray in there. Now let's actually give this thing a proper rip. Jesus Christ. Looks like someone had their Wheaties this morning. Chaos. Pure chaos. With all that extra RPM, I am not struggling to pull the nose up on some of these faceplant type jumps. That one kicked it up. Maybe I could have even pulled a backflip. Yeah, you saw that. It was not able to, excuse me, it was very able to pull the nose up. Give it just a touch of throttle and it had enough RPM to really move that front end up. That's what more voltage does. Yep, still rock and roll. Jesus. Yeah, some of these potholes are not doing me any favors here. Normally wouldn't be bothered on a 10 scale or 8 scale truck, but when you start bringing minis out here, got these little potholes, game over. There we go. Running it for about 6 or 7 minutes on 2S. Lots of full throttle. The motor barely got warm. ESC barely even broke a sweat. 18 tooth pinion, I believe. Not enough RPM there to bring the nose up. I suspect a granite Grom would do excellent out here with this exact power system. Probably even pull some backflips. I would even argue that at this power system, this setup is a little overkill for this course. Pulled the nose right up. Not so much with that one. Yo, what was that? Let's just yeet this up forward. There we go. Yeah, just chaos. This thing is dancing like a ballet dancer on crack. Oh, come on. Whoop. It's not working out for me. There we go. Maybe not. Yo, no free rides. Where's that twig? Oh, there it is. Anyway. One last jump. Butter. All right, let's do a temp check. Let me detach here. Put that right there. Hey, no free rides, come on. All right, let's open this bad boy up. Just like the Super Baja Ray, whenever some dirt gets in this latch, it just gets kind of, you know, stuck. Anyway, where are we at? Ooh, that's a little warm. Yeah, that's a little warm. You see? Wish I brought my laser temp gun. Wires? Hardly warm. That's good. Motor wires? Eh. It's not a big deal. We'll see if maybe one of these days I can put a fan on here, but I'm already running tight on space. Anyway, now that we know how this truck runs on 2S and 3S, let's drive these bad boys, see how they compare. But first I gotta switch over the models in my radio. Let's start with the 14MT, shall we? Yep, come on. There we go. So this one is running 2S. Micro X2 as always, and this one does have a bigger motor. It's got the 10 series, 1007. I believe this is the 6,000 kV. 6,000 kV motor. It's like 64 something. Hilarious as always. This thing is much better on 3S, but my 3S batteries right now that would fit in this truck are currently in a different truck right now. And I was actually really curious to see how well the included Grom battery would work on this, because as it turns out, the Spektrum 2S 1400 hard case fits in this truck perfectly. But the wire gauge is a little bit on the small side, and this thing is set up for 3S, so the pinion's a little small. Otherwise, it's doing pretty good. Shorter wheelbase, bigger wheels. So it's definitely more of a basher. And on 3S, it'll pull triple backflips all day long. This smaller 1400 battery with the small wires might not have enough torque to actually get this thing spinning to pull backflips and stuff, but it does okay. It does okay. Ooh, those brakes are real touchy. I don't remember how I have this thing set up. I might want to reduce that. This thing is soaking up those bumps much better than the Typhon would. Ooh, not enough RPM to pull the nose up. The only real bummer to these associated 14 scale trucks is that even though they've been out for considerably longer than the Groms, the Grom already has a way more substantial aftermarket. Like, I wish someone somewhere would come out with a metal spur gear for these trucks. That'd be great. I've never been able to find one. Ooh, right on the nose. Let me readjust my grip here. I am recording one-handed and driving one-handed, so bear with me. So obviously, this being shorter wheelbase, bigger wheels, sits up higher, it absorbs the bumps better. But it is a little bit more twitchy. I live and die by a gyro. Especially since the stock servo in these 14 MTs are really, really touchy. Very fast, very strong for its size. What's fun about this particular truck too, and the way that they package them and sell them, is in the box you get the wing mount. But you don't get a wing, you get a wing mount. You get a plastic baggie full of spare parts, and it includes a wing mount. And it comes stock installed with a wheelie bar. And so I thought, what's stopping me from turning this into a sort of mini Creighton, if you will? So I decided to find the wing that would go on these 14 scales, like the 14B and the 14T. Keep the wheelie bar, trim the body a little bit to fit the wing, and it kind of looks like a mini Creighton a little bit, kind of, sort of, if ever there was one. Right? I think that looks pretty fire. This 1400 battery is doing pretty good. Lacking a little bit on the bottom end on that punch, especially if I'm trying to pull the nose up from a jump. In stock form, these trucks, the suspension is wicked stiff, so I actually put 17 weight oil in here. That's all preference though. And I'm hearing some clicking, so I suspect that spur gear is on its way out again. In typical associated fashion, you can't just buy the spur gear. You have to buy a spur gear and a bunch of other gears that you may not even need. It's all in the same package, it's all in the same part number. Let's see if it'll clear this. Double maybe? Will it pull a double? Almost. And I'm stuck. hot, dry summer bushes. Oh, it's the worst. Come on. Ow. Thorns and shit. Ow, fuck. Getting my legs. It's not ideal. Let's get over there. Also, side note, I'm obviously wearing a lanyard with my radio. The most annoying thing about a DX5 Pro is that it doesn't come with anywhere to clip a lanyard like it does a DX3. It's the most infuriating thing ever, so this is my solution. Velcro strap, key ring. Yeah, kind of ghetto, but it works. So either that spur gear is on its way out, or maybe I picked up some debris in the center drive shaft because it's not perfectly sealed in there. That's not a big deal though. This thing is still a ripper, of course. It almost sounds like a mini X-Max with the bent center drive shaft. Ooh, I could have leaned into a front flip. Can I get a front flip? Kinda. And it died. Oh, I still got power. I think I might have lost the motor wire. Let's make a damage check. Let's unclip my radio. Let's take a look. Park that there. Ooh, okay. That might be why. Something's lodged in there. Maybe I finally blew up that spur gear. These body pins are the worst. I need to get some better body pins. You know what I should have brought with me? I usually carry a little pick. Just like a simple set of picks that you can buy at like a tool store, hardware store, automotive store, whatever. I usually keep a pick with me, a 90-degree pick. Helps to pull these body pins out, saves my fingers. Forgot that in my car. It's no big deal. Alright. Yeah, the ESC has moved around a little bit. This is probably one of the few cars I use zip ties on. Mainly just because it's easier to deal with than sticky tape on this specific design. Alright. What is binding? I don't see anything. Do we have wheel motion? So it must be in the center somewhere. We will have to take a look at another time. I am not prepared to disassemble at the moment, but I suspect it has something to do with motor pinion, spur gear, center drive shaft, something in there. So we're gonna have to disassemble. We'll take a look later on, but in the meantime, we're gonna finish up with our third vehicle that we got, which is our 16 scale e-Revo. Model select. Mini e-Revo, MERV, MERV. We are live. All right, got the 116 e-Revo out. This one is full Psycho build, basically nothing left untouched. Let's drive it, compare it to the 14MT. Of course, we already know how those compare. But I want to see how this compares to the Grom now that I've got some seat time with the Grom. Ooh, Jesus, blowing up tires here. That would be a good opportunity to tell you guys the power I'm running. It's a Micro X2, of course, you know how I do. It's got a 1007 Castle motor, 1007, 10 series as I like to call it. This one is the 8,000-ish kV one. I think it's like 82 something. Does have a small pinion, and I am running dual 3S parallel. One thing to note that I forgot to mention with the associated alongside this one. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Is the Micro X2 ESC that I have in here is a early production one. It is an early production ESC. What does that mean? When these first came out, they promised a internal BEC, but due to some supply chain shortages or something like that, they could not get the internal BEC. They could not get the internal BEC figured out, but they wanted to get a product out, so they shipped them partially functional so that they worked otherwise, but you needed a BEC. But they included a BEC in the box when you bought them. Price unchanged. Price stayed the same, but it gave you a BEC in the box. So that's what this one is. The EAC on this one does not have a internal BEC, so I run an external. And it's the same way. It's the same way with the Associated, the 14MT. It's the early version with an internal BEC. External, excuse me. But the Grom is more updated. They have since resolved the supply chain situation, so now the current Micro X2s are fully ready to go, internal BEC, rock and roll. So keep that in mind. I could probably save a little bit of weight if I get the updated ESC, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. Backflip. So yes, with the high KV and the dual 3S parallel and the bigger wheels, this thing is pulling flips all day long. Almost. I think I hit that jump with a little bit too much speed. These wheels are the J Concepts pre-mounted Goosebumps 2.2s. These are actually 10 scale buggy wheels, but they work on here. 12 mil hex and no clearance issues. The proportions look good. Flip. Jesus. Blow these tires right up, won't we? I hope not. Not trying to. Oh, power cut. Power cut. What's that beep code correspond to? That's either over amp or over temp. I don't quite remember, to be honest. I'd have to pull up the manual to find out what the beep codes correspond to. I used to have them memorized, but not so much anymore. Damage report, temp. It's not too hot. ESC temp. ESC is a little warm. Yeah, it's a little warm. But yeah, you can see I got the dual 3S parallel there. They are Gens Ace 1400s? No, 1300s? Something like that. Got the hot racing sways, long travel rockers, the nickel springs. What else? All the adjustable rod ends and turnbuckles and metal carriers and all that. This thing is basically loaded to the teeth with upgrades. Mainly because, well, you know me, I just can't help myself. But also, there's a lot of cut corners in this particular chassis. Namely the diffs. It's got the hot racing spiral diffs. There's no way in hell stock diffs will handle this level of power. Not even close. Single save box. It does okay. How are these tires doing? Nothing blown up yet. Honestly, for how much power I'm putting through these and how much wheel RPM I'm getting, I'm surprised, knock on wood, that they haven't blown up yet. No, they're doing good. They're doing real good. The suspension on this is real soft, real plush, and that's mainly due to the long travel and the spring choice that I got. Even though this one is an early version with no internal BEC, the way I have the BEC wired actually is kind of clever, which is part of the reason why I'm probably not going to change it. Those wires right there, the red and black, those are soldered into this connector here under the heat shrink, and it powers the BEC. So I actually stripped the BEC of its heat shrink and modified it a little bit to get it to fit all in here. So inside here we got our 6200 AVC receiver, and the BEC is all in here. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and if I take it all out, it's never going back in the same way. So I'm just going to kind of leave that basically forever. But yeah, let's answer the question. Well, first, let's see if this is driving still. Oh, look at that. We're back. Anyway, I'll just run it without a body for now. No big deal. So how does it compare to a Grom? How does it compare to a Grom? This is kind of the best of both worlds a little bit when it comes to driving them between the Grom and the 14MT. 14MT obviously has got the bigger wheels, shorter wheelbase. So this one kind of sort of handles like a kind of like a truggy. It's a little weird. The suspension being the long travel, it's also got the extended wheelbase Summit style arms. So it's a little bit more stable in the corners. Say what you will about Traxxas. I know there's a lot of people who have, you know, some polarizing opinions about them. Business practices, litigious behavior. I don't really care. None of that matters to me. All I care about is, do they design a good product or not? Do they have a good product or not? And honestly, I love these trucks. In my opinion, the only thing they really need to do to fortify it so that it's a little bit more durable for today's market is redo the diffs so that they're a little bit more durable, so that you don't have to spend a zillion amount of money to fortify them with the hot racing diffs. I don't know, and maybe some factory installed adjustable links, stuff like that. Maybe give the stock ESC some more braking performance. Stock ESC and motor, the brakes are kind of pathetic, but it has a lot of punch and a lot of power. So basically, do you want something with some handling prowess on some smoother surfaces with less potholes, right? Or do you want something that is really truly a unique experience that kind of combines the nimbleness of a buggy a little bit with the crazy suspension travel, making it really super soft? Or would you want to go the 14MT route, which is parked over here for now? It's got some damage on it, so we'll figure that out later. Or would you want something that has a shorty wheelbase with big wheels and the ability to do triple backflips and crazy bashing? And because these things are really durable, honestly, they are really truly durable. What we see today with today's failure and the fact that it locked up on me, I've never seen this before on this truck. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I've never seen this before. I beat the living piss out of this truck and it holds up. The only things I've ever busted ever is a spur gear. Like literally that's it. These things are absolute durable tanks. So do you want a basher? Do you want something truly unique that's kind of a mix of both? A basher and a buggy? Or do you want something that is more straightforward buggy, skill-based driving? You know, that kind of gives you that satisfaction of 8-scale buggy, but just kind of downsized. Let me know which ones you guys prefer. As always, keep on bashing, my friends. Bash, break, fix, repeat.